day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eric Coffin. I'm here at the May 26, 2023 Metal Investors Forum in Vancouver. I'm here with Mike Struthers. He's the CEO of one of the companies that I invited. If you know how Metals Investor Forum works, it's a bit different in the sense that it's all paid subscriber newsletters, and for a company to be able to present it, and if they need to be invited by one of the newsletter editors, it's not a first come first serve thing. You need to be invited, and in Mike's case, he was invited by me. Mike is the CEO of Luca Mining, and Luca is the product of pretty large scale financial reorganization, certainly. Mm-hmm. Company just did a large placement, and they're in the midst of doing large shares for debt with, these are large shareholders that are going to be sticking around. But it's definitely, there's been some bumps in the roads for sure in the last couple of years. But this is not an explorer. This is a producer. Mike came in late last year, and he was there to try to get on top of the operational part of it and the development of one of the two mines, which is basically going through construction right now, and just kind of get everything locked down again and under control, and just make what improvements he could. And from what I've seen so far, things just seem to be going a lot more smoothly since Mike came along. It's been a lot of work, but I think people looking at the company now and people coming in as shareholders now after all this reorganization, they're the ones that are really going to get the benefit of how this will unfold, I think, over the next year or two. So can you maybe talk to us about, maybe start with Tahuehueto. Mm. I mean, where are we at there? I mean, what have you done? What's it look like going forward? I mean,
sure, yeah, of course. I guess one of the first things was that there was a blurring of what the goal was. Ultimate goal is to get it to 1,000 tons a day. That was the nameplate capacity, PFS, etc. But there was a stage defined halfway, 500 tons a day, and then 1,000. But there was a sort of a blurring of which one you were focusing on. It wasn't clear. So one of the first things was to create that split and say, okay, what we've got to do is deliver 500 first. Let's focus entirely on that, get that done. With gold prices as they are today, and we're operating at about 400 tons a day now already, even though we haven't quite finished delivering the 500. We're operating cash positive now anyway. So that was define those two stages, and the 500 ton, we'll have that done by the end of next month, end of June. And that was one of our first goals for this year, is get that done. And I think we'll get a big tick in the marketplace because, as you said, it's been a rocky road for the last couple of years, for a whole variety of reasons. So getting that done has involved quite a lot of work to just a bit of reshaping of the organization. We had to change out some people and put the right skill sets in there to make sure we could deliver that. So there's been a lot of work going on those sorts of things. There's a real buzz on the site now. There's a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of work to do, but guys are really focused now. We've done some debottlenecking to make sure things happen smoothly. And so that's going very well. Very pleased with that. Tailings construction particularly is one of the key milestones to get this first stage done, and that's going very well. We should be finishing that just before the end of June. So yeah. And the second stage is 1,000 tons a year, 1,000 tons a day by the end of the year. That's what I say to people. There's a potential to do it earlier, but let's stick to the end of the year. And we are making some progress there too. Even though we're focused on the 500, we've just acquired the second mill, which actually is a larger capacity. So that'll give us about 1,200 tons a day capacity. So there's a lot of activity, but it's coming together well now. We didn't have the right people running it. It was just some square peg, round hole sort of problems that we had to fix. So yeah, so that's good. And this year is really about getting that done, which sort of it's the whole turnaround story. It's finally getting that done. Right. So by the end of the year, we're an operating mining company now, but then we're a mining company with two operations, both generating strong cash flows. So.
And at 1,000 tons a day, so what's Tahuehueto look like as a mine?
we'll be producing between 40 and 45,000 ounces a year equivalent, and so that's generating revenues of around, I think it's about 25 to 30 million a year. So yeah, it's a strong performer. We'll be looking at, next year, we'll do some drilling towards the end of this year, and then next year we'll actually do some work to see, can we expand this? Because I'd like to, I think the right scale for Tahuehueto is probably around the 2,000 ton a day mark. So, and we've got a 10-year mine life now. So some drilling to expand the resources to get, or reserves to get to 10 years at 2,000 rather than 10 years at 1,000.
Right.
So there's some really good, strong upside there too. But one step at a time. This year is just get it built, and that's the platform then.
Now, what about the other mine, Campo Morado? How are things going there?
Good. We're having a better year this year. So 21 was a really strong year, and it was an example of what that operation's capable of delivering. We produced, I think it was over $34 million of operating profit in that year. Last year was a poor year, and now we know why. And it's all about mineralogy and processing and making sure you're ahead of the game. No surprises is really the sort of the catchphrase for to make Campo Morado successful is all that forward planning work, understanding the material you put in the mill and how it's going to behave. So it's sort of incremental improvements, and the guys are doing that constantly. We've just bringing online right now a third concentrate stream. So that's fundamentally a silver, lead, copper bulk concentrate. Right. Where most of the value is in the silver. We're getting 550, 600 grams a ton silver in the con. But we're also looking at some other technologies that can improve continue to improve base metals, but a bit of a step change, right. But also try to address the precious metal side of things and improve the recoveries there. Again, there's been incremental improvements where, what was historically only about 25% silver recovery, we're now getting about 40. Okay. What used to be 10 or 15 in the gold, we're now getting 20, 25. Right. So we're gradually getting there, but we've done trials with Jameson cells. They were done in the past, but nothing really, not taken forward. So we're actually looking at now, how can we, is there a justification for bringing Jameson cells in? Because as an example, the test work that was done before saw us improving the copper grades. The copper concentrate grade went up from about 15, 16, which is where it is today, right, to about 25. And the recoveries from 50%, which is what we're getting now, to about 80. Okay. So I know you share some of these views too, that I do as well, that Campo has got a lot of opportunity, a lot of upside. Yeah, and there are some technologies there which we've sort of dipped our toe in the water a little bit just to have a look at. I want to get more serious about some of those now, and on both the precious and base metal sides to see what we can do in the future. So you've always got that incremental improvement going on, right? But then you want to take a bit of a jump sometimes too. Yeah. So Campo, I think the path forwards for Campo is much clearer now. We had some consultants in last year that gave us a really good roadmap. Blah blah blah. So yeah, Campo's future is clearer, and with both those mines operating where they should be by the end of this year, we're generating $40 to $45 million of cash flow each year. So yeah, that gives us a really strong platform, and I guess that platform then is, well, how do we then grow the company? Well, there's there's natural organic growth, looking at increasing throughputs or expanding resources, etc., which everybody does. But we'll also be looking at expanding, our portfolio. We would want to add other assets into the company, and they may or may not be in Mexico. We might, to sort of manage the jurisdictional risk, we might look at other jurisdictions, as well. So we're fairly agnostic about where we go, as long as we have past experience there. And with the team we have now and some of the people that we're going to be bringing on, particularly at the board level, that gives us a lot of experience in different parts of the world, and not just LATAM, but actually globally, to go into other jurisdictions where we have some experience of operating already. So. Okay.
I mean, there you have it, folks. I mean, Luca Mining, LUCA, on the venture. You know, right now they've got $40 million market cap. As Mike said, I mean, things go according to plan, and they have so far. End of the year, they're doing more than that cash flow, and companies don't generally trade at less than one cash flow.
I can just add one sort of metric that counts, I think, is for each of the projects, either one of those projects has got a valuation that's higher than our current market cap.
Right.
I mean, you combine the two of them together, it's dramatically higher than where we are today. You know? So it gives
Yeah,
you
I think
an
it's just a matter of, you know, I think the market's a little bit show me for reasons we both understand. And so far you've been delivering on the timing and delivering on things on site, and I think, you know, you keep doing that. At some point, you know, people recognize, like, yeah, this thing should be, things should be trading a lot higher. They're generating the ounces, they're generating the cash flow. So, you know, as Mike put it quite succinctly, turnaround story. I think it's a really good turnaround story. I think this is something you want to be paying attention to as they roll out these incremental improvements and get Tahuehueto up to 500 and 1,000 tons per day. Thanks for coming by and walking us through it.
Thanks
Mike.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.